JB, what does that mean?
Fuck Joe Biden.
We're live on the air right
good.
now.
That's
Okay,
perfect.
all right.
All right.
And so why do you think? Why do you want to fuck Joe Biden?
I really don't want to fuck Joe Biden.
Look
around.
Everybody wants to fuck Joe Biden. Is that what?
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, that was great.
Oh, I just wanted to start with some laughs.
JB, what does that mean?
Fuck Joe Biden.
We're live on the air
That's
right
good.
now.
That's
Okay,
perfect.
all right.
That's good. That's good.
That's
Doug.
good.
How you
Hey.
doing? You know what else should be pretty good is this dry hop Imperial Pilsner from Barrel Flow from our friends Harris Brewing, Mac Brewing, and Trogs.
Trogs involved too. That's cool.
Trogs and Fro. I don't know whoever's involved. It smells beautiful. I'm not sure if this is the eye rolling. I don't even want to say ecstasy one that you went through the couple
that
weeks
was,
ago, but
yeah, that was the honey lemongrass one. That one was like, ugh. Bleh.
Someone is way too high for this, or
No, that's Matt Pressbury. He's too high for that video, I think.
Yeah, for the fucking Joe Biden part, or just for us, or what? Okay, cool. I guess they'll respond, right?
I'm gonna assume it's a video.
Yes, FTG. Wait, I thought it was fuck Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know. Those guys are really into Joe Biden. I thought it was very amazing.
Yeah, hey.
This
love is love, Greg. So how is that, by the way?
Wow. It's really, really good. But this one now, again, the one that you had from Mac, you told me that it didn't really taste big.
Mm-hmm.
This one tastes big. This one, I'm getting a little bit of the alcohol, not alcohol-y, but like you know when you drink a beer and you can just be like, man, this packs a punch.
Yeah.
This one is not denying that it packs a punch. I feel it. And it's good. Don't get me wrong. It is really good. The nose is just amazing. Hops, forward, fruit. I can't really name the fruit. My senses have kind of been off with this new medicine I'm on. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm not. This shit's fantastic, though. What is in your glass?
Well, I'm going to change it up tonight, and I'm going to do a whiskey night. So what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to do them kind of all over the place. So I'm starting off with one that I found that I thought was super interesting. It is a plum whiskey from Japan. Akashi Ume. So
Okay.
I have never had this. I've been wanting to try Japanese whiskey because it's kind of a growing thing in Scotch and whiskey. So I thought I'd pick this up and see how it is. It smells just like whiskey. I mean, plum's not something that has a lot of notes that you get out of, smelling it. So
we've got clarity here. Yes, it's about fucking Joe Biden.
It smells really good. It doesn't smell like usually I drink Scotch and I usually drink the peaty stuff. This is just smells really smooth and a little bit of sweet, a little bit of floral elements to it, which should because of the. Yeah, it's got all the whiskey notes you want. It's call it whiskey there. They make it more like Scotch, not like bourbon. So this is like it starts off with like a nice whiskey burn, but then has that nice plum flavor that comes right along and just washes and makes it nice and sweet. This is dangerously drinkable. That's Daniel, we should like to hear what kind of rum you are drinking. That's something I would like to hear. But,
so we're starting with whiskey and we're going to end with it too, aren't we?
I'm having whiskey the whole time.
Oh, okay. It's one of those.
Yeah, you were giving me shit for not drinking enough Scotch and whiskey on this show, so I thought I'd give them what they want, as Jalen Rose sings all the time on the show.
There we go. So, before we get to our fabulous, wonderful guest, who many of us know, and I'm just excited to talk to him about many things. And Doug, you have a story that you love to retell about us. Sure, you're going to get there. You know what I'm talking about. You do.
What? No, I don't know.
Right. I just want to address something. I am not first of all, I haven't received any messages, so I'm not responding to anybody or anything. How about that? Before I even start, but I am not cranking, Doug, at the rate that I used to. Before a couple months ago, or a couple weeks ago, for that matter. Hell, I don't even know. Maybe it's been a couple months. I'm just not cranking at that rate. I'm just not doing the things that I normally do at the rate that I'm there. I just can't do it. I have to be slower than I have to be. So I just wanted to let everybody know, especially on this broadcast, that if I haven't responded to you, or I haven't talked to you, or I have to get back to you, it's not about you. And it's really just more about me settling into, I don't want to say a new normal, but I want to say what I am right now. And I just want to make sure that people don't understand that I'm not just being either aloof or being negative or not responding to you. I'm going through a little bit of a tough time adjusting to what I can and can't do these days. And that is making me not be able to crank out what I normally crank out, whether it be talking to you every day, whether it be hitting you, whether it be booking people for this show, whatever. I got people that we have rescheduled that I haven't talked to that I need to. I got all kinds of things going on, and it's just hard for me to deal with that. And I'm not, I'm a public person, meaning I jump on the stream and talk a lot of shit, but we don't really reveal much about our personal lives on this stream. I don't really reveal much from my personal life on social media. So it's hard for people to understand. I put one post out about me getting out of the hospital. That's all I've talked about publicly. So I'm not expecting people to understand or get it. What I'm expecting, or what I just want to let everybody know, is that I'm just in a different place and I just need y'all support. Just by being mindful and kind, that I'm just not cranking out the same way. Now, at the same time, I can't expect y'all to know what the hell's going on when I don't say shit. So that's where we're at. So I said my shit, and I just want everybody to know that. Not everybody even, man, I got so many people, so many friends of mine that don't even know I do a stream. So yeah, after all these, I'm with you, Doug.
After that's because 2.5 years? Wow.
Yeah, but that's because I'm not as social as I don't know, something. I'm not going to say as I want. I'm clearly as social as I want because I control that shit. What you know what I'm saying? But I'm not as social as sometimes I think I am, which I'm like, you people should know this shit. You know? Like, you should know I'm in the hospital. You should know. No, they shouldn't, because I didn't say shit. I didn't even say shit to you until like a day into this mess. A little bit inside ball, for really mostly because you were in Iceland, and I wasn't trying to be like, hey, you're in Iceland and I'm in a hospital. What's up, bruh? Yeah. Nah. So like at some point though, I did say something because I owe it to you as a friend, but at the same time, you already know I didn't really want to do it. So that's just how I am. That's just who I am. It's this balance between being a social person, and I knew going into this, Doug, when we started the stream, that this would be a struggle for me, and me going in the hospital pretty much showed that struggle, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And the thing was, when you told me, and I was like, I knew that you were kind of holding on to it because you didn't want to bother us, and not a bother. You're my guy, man. You're my buddy, so I want to know. So, and I'm pretty sure everybody else is in the same boat. We all love you. We all want to make sure you're well. So whatever you got to do, you do, and we take it from there.
Cool. I just wanted everybody to kind of say that piece. So, Doug, we got a fabulous guest. We got to get to him. But I do want you to say, before we get to him, I do want to take a minute or two if you want to say anything about that we missed last week, or do you want to talk about Iceland? Want to throw anything out, anything we missed, talk about, or you just say, fuck it, we'll just go with our guest. I don't care. It's on to you. But I just wanted to give you the stage a little bit because I took some of it right now to explain where I'm at. Because we're kind of different people. You had an anniversary, you had a birthday, all kinds of shit going on, and you didn't really get to talk about it. So I wanted to let you have the stage a little bit.
I would only say that Iceland's really gorgeous. It's way more vast and big and than you can imagine. And the people are lovely. Their way of life is something I'd love to emulate more. It's more minimalist. It's more, It's kind of straightforward, and the only thing to my birthday was we actually ate at a Viking restaurant, and I ate fermented shark while I was there, so that was interesting.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
cool. Fermented shark. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to get into that, but that seems to be a.
We'll ask Darren if he wants some fermented shark. Here you go, man.
How is fermented shark served in a sandwich and like?
No. It's a little cube. All right, because they have to ferment it for a certain period of time to take a lot of the. I'm not sure if it's alkaline or if it's something that's not really safe to eat if you don't actually age it. So the thing is, like the guy told us that the shark that they got it from was a particular kind of shark that's native to the waters there, and that shark were able to find out that the shark was almost 300 years old. So it's so basically there's like this thing where they believe that you eat it and it like transfers the wisdom and the years of the shark into you as you eat it. It's a custom.
Wow.
Not ivermectin, no. All
right. If you can see Darren in the green room, I can. You can, Doug. His reaction was amazing. So without further ado, we're going to bring him on and let him comment on that comment. What's up, Darren?
Hey,
what you have some. Darren did the old head slap when he saw that.
it was the transferring wisdom for me that I was like, oh no. First of all, I can't eat much of fermented much of anything. And then a shark that's 300 years old. What's up, Roberto? That's my man right there. Even though you're on the West Coast. But I mean, look, I'm open to some things. I don't know if I'll be open to that though, but I am open to some things. But I think it's pretty cool because you got to experience another custom, and that's pretty cool. I just don't think I could touch it, man.
Right.
I don't need 300 years worth of wisdom. I'm like gray enough as it is.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be, I don't want the Viking gray coming down here. No, I can't do that. I'm cool. What's up, people?
What's up, Darren? What's in that glass? I know you want to talk about it.
Well, this right now is empty. I got to pour, but I am Uncle Nearest here. Can you see that good?
Yeah, we got
Uncle Nearest.
Now, Doug, I think you got the same thing.
I know that was going to be next.
But here's my thing. I've not been a brown liquor guy much. I'm kind of getting acquired taste as I grow older. Mm-hmm. I like the Knob Creeks and the Jack Daniels, and I've tasted all those, and that's kind of fine. I'm not a purist, as they would say. If it just tastes good to me, I like it. If it don't, I don't. But I really like Uncle Nearest because the story behind it. Uncle Nearest.
Tell it.
This little gentleman here, I think it was James Nearest, I think that was his name. But this gentleman was the master distiller of Jack Daniels. He's the one that sat by Jack Daniels, taught Jack Daniels, and gave them the recipe and how to make Jack Daniels. There would be no Jack Daniels without Uncle Nearest. Now, the Nearest family knew that. They actually still worked in Jack Daniels meals over the years, even to recently. But it really didn't really come out till some young ladies came and they dug into it. And these same young ladies actually started the Uncle Nearest distillery. But with that, and with all the information that they give, then Jack Daniels was finally like, yes, Uncle Nearest, he's our man. It took them a while, but they did it. Okay.
Right.
So with that, and you two should know me by now that I have been on this beginnings, I guess, journey of Black folk and finding out what we have done that has not been told, not necessarily recorded, but haven't been told. What's been whitewashed and what was whitewashed, I want to make it even. I ain't trying to make it what Black people done everything, even though we've done a lot, since coming over here in slavery, been brought over rather. and never recognized for. But let's just make knowledge be knowledge. Let's just put everything out there and be equal. If it was a black man who started the distillery, let it be so. Okay, we cool in. That's all I want to know. I ain't got to erase your history to make mine prevalent. I just want history to be history. And that's the truth. And it hurts us sometimes, but sometimes it works in our favor. So, to Uncle Nearest.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Amen.
Some good stuff.
And yeah, Darren, I got a side project going on here. I talked about it a little bit before, but I'm exploring Black people and beer and spirits and in all of this area. Hopefully, we can get that rolling soon. But just like a lot of things, I had to slow down a little bit, like I was talking about before. But I feel you. I'm on that. And I hope maybe I can bring you in and we could talk a little bit about maybe just some research, or you have something that you can help me, or you just want to talk about it. So we'll talk about that on the side. But Doug, I don't know if you have a follow-up to what Darren said, but I already said mine.
Yeah, no, this is I'd actually been looking for that because I just recently learned about that whole story with Uncle Nearest and how he kind of brought Jack Daniels to be Jack Daniels, and really hard to find here.
Really?
Yeah, and upstate New York is not like, we're not like out in the sticks like where I am. This isn't the sticks. I thought I could find it. I could only find it at one place. And and I was like, oh, cool. So I snagged one of those bottles up. So I'll be having that next, but I'll be looking forward. That'll be the first time I ever tried it. So I'm looking forward to that. That's Pressbury there. He and his wife are going to go there.
Yep. Amen. Great.
I would love to go down to the distillery. Nathan Green was his name. I apologize. Nathan Green.
Nathan Green.
I would love to go down to the distillery because one of the things I've heard is that their tours, which is about an hour and a half long, is really, really good. And plus, at the end, you can get your own bottle, get it signed by the master distiller, blah, 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 different type of things. But yeah, here's my epiphanies in life. I remember when I went to a school in here in suburban Cleveland called Bedford High School. Mixture of black and white. Anytime Black history came up, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, ooh, bad, really tough guy. Who else? Jackie Robinson, we know about those things. Montgomery boycotted, how slavery was, they brought him over, blah, blah, blah. But it was never really an in-depth thing. And we didn't learn anything really outside of that. I get to college. That was the first time I ever saw the diagram of the slave ship, where they saw how you put the people in there piece by piece by piece by piece. And it was like Legos putting them in there. And I learned so much about how more of them died at sea than actually came over here. And it blew my mind to the point I became Muslim. I was radical, literally changed my name, not technically because my parents would let me, but I just went straight out radical. Fight the power. You want to talk about some fight? That was fight the power before fight the power. Okay, we staged a sit-in at my college, Cleveland State University, for some stuff. 92 days. I was just straight on out there because I was upset. I never knew. And even in my family, we knew some things. Remember, people around my age group. I'm 51. When Roots came out, all Black folks just sat at the television those nights. Watching that, but I was too young to understand at that time. I just didn't understand, so I didn't make the connect until I got to college. So that kind of changed my life around. Learned about a lot of inventors, learned about a lot of people who couldn't hold patents, and other people got credit for them. Learned about a bunch of stuff. Then I kind of dwindled down a little bit. And during life you see different things where it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But then I got to barbecue, which is a good passion for me. When I first got into, I've always loved barbecue. My father did it when I was little. I loved the way to see the people, reacted to how he, his food tasted. I love to see him work. It wasn't low and slow and all about that back then. It was just hot grills. You flip. Back in that day, we would put the ribs in some vinegar overnight. So that's how they got tender, not the low and slow method, because they would, turn them on hot coals the next day. But I just like that idea. Cooking for your family, cooking on the holidays, you the guy by the grill, boom, boom, boom. But then things changed. I started watching these shows, started getting interested, started doing some, experimenting here and there. I did fires. My fires is like Eddie Murphy's uncle, if y'all know what I'm talking about. My fires are straight up. Like Eddie Murphy. Every grill I got, little square grills or whatever, they had the red top, they all were black by the time I was done. Everyone.
That's a fire.
Sometimes
that's a fire.
You know?
Right.
And I was like, but I started getting into it, started doing different things, rub and sauce and trying to, make your own and do all these different, whatever, really, really getting into it. And the first person I really saw, I was like, ooh, I want to do barbecue like him, was Bobby Flay, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
His Southwest style of barbecue. I mean, that's all I saw. I didn't know anything else. So then, so I started to really love barbecue. The patience of it, the journey of it, the learning of it, but most of all, feeding people and how they felt, after eating my food. So then I got hit with another one. So a couple of years ago, my wife got me a birthday, Christmas, New Year present by, I think that's her, Teresa. Somebody just came in the house. Okay, one in your dial line, okay?
Hey, it's just a ghost, Darren. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Right. Paranormal experience.
Right. So I was like, because I was looking at all the barbecue pit masters and all that. Teresa, that's you? Okay. Yeah. And, I was like, ooh, so Meyer mixing, right? So I was like, well, look, I'm trying to do this barbecue thing. At that point, I was thinking about taking it to a business. So if you do, you need to learn from, those that are great, He had classes. I was like, oh, well, boom, 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 Meyer mixing. Yay. Let's go to his class. But then COVID hit. So I didn't get a chance to go to his class. In March of 2020 is when I was supposed to go, but they, when we all shut down, we couldn't go. But what they did was extended our, we can come any other time they came back open. I was able to go earlier this year, which was cool, and it was a great experience. But between that time, I read an article, I think it was Southern Living, and it was a clapback per se to a Fox article about the top 10 barbecue people, all time or right now, and it was nobody black, nobody. Now I never saw that Fox article until I saw the Southern Living article, and their counteract to that, and I was like, wait a minute, there was more to barbecue than the people I just seen. Here again, another one of those like, why nobody tell me? Or why isn't this like public knowledge? You know what I'm saying? Why is it? Why has it gotten what people have done and built their backs on become commercialized and wealthy for somebody else who didn't really do the work, the groundwork? Does that make sense?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. So, they swoop in and take all your shit and run with it.
And then nobody else knows. So I was pissed. I was like, do I even want to go to this class? Do I, they wouldn't give me my refund, which is fine. And I went, like I said, I had a great time and I learned some great things. I'm not going to take anything away from him, from what he does and who he is. I mean, he's Myron Mixon, 6-time now or 7-time world champ now, whatever. And he knows what he's doing. And I can't take that away from him. But my excitement dwindled going. I didn't have as much fun, I guess, as I could have, because in the back of my mind, I learned about new people that, oh my God, I wish I could have run. I never knew about Rodney Scott. Never knew about him.
I'm still learning.
It's a Dr. Howard Conyers. Never knew about. Well, I did see him on Man Fire Food. That's how I found out about him.
Yeah,
there's so many other people out there. It's ridiculous. And one of the oldest standing barbecue joints is owned by a black man. It burned down this year, but it did go GoFundMe and they rebuilt it back up. But so many things. And then I learned, when I was looking at that list, they had their top 10, boom, boom, boom. And I think we talked about this once about Henry Perry. The style, Kansas City style barbecue, is because of Henry Perry, who was a black guy. That particular style that he brought up to Kansas City and that grew, he taught somebody else. And of course, it blossomed from there. So, everybody like Kansas City barbecue, we do. Yeah, but did you know there's a black guy that did it? Oh, no. Of course you don't. And why don't you? Is my question. Why don't you? If you talking about what your grandparents and your grandfathers did, I'm questioning what they did. But if you did, why don't you know that? If we go back to our grandparents, they're the people who did the barbecue. You can't tell me, and if I'm wrong, somebody tell me in the comments, y'all tell me. You can't tell me on a plantation, you having a big party that the plantation owner who has slaves working for him 24/7 and everything that they do is going to go kill the hog, slaughter the hog, clean the hog, dig the ditch for the hog, stay up overnight cooking the hog, and serve the hog. You can't tell me they did that.
No.
So with that, Southern Living's number one, contributors to barbecue, they call them the unknowns. They're the people that did the pits from slavery, that was brought over here, taken from another land, brought their traditions, put them here, and fed not only their families, but the families that they were enslaved to. Those methods, cooking overnight, they didn't, anybody was chopping meat back in that point. Oh, we're going to cook the brisket. We're going to cook the ham. We just going to take the rib. No, you cook the whole thing, baby. They got the good parts. We got the bad parts.
Mm-hmm.
That's why chitlins taste good, because we made them taste good, even though they're not the best. But we had to do at that time what we had to do. I don't eat chitlins, by the way.
Wait, chitlins taste good?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Oh man, don't even get me. We could talk an hour on damn chitlins. Darren, real quick, and I know you already know this, but I'm gonna throw a shout out for this. Which is High on the Hog. I learned so I don't want to cover you up, Darren. I am, but I learned so much from that show.
Ridiculous,
it just
right?
Blew me away. That shit again. This is the first time. This is not the first time we talked about this on the stream, but that show is just amazing. I need to go back and double back on it. It's emotional. Coming out. Right, amazing. And it's emotional. So I got caught up all in my feelings and missed like half of it. Not half of it, but like partly I was crying and I was just emotional and angry, and it just brings out all those feels.
Everything.
On top of what you learn. Like you learn so much in that you're like, I ran away from that show like, damn, black people did y'all wouldn't have shit food-wise if it wasn't for black people. That's how I left that show.
Comfort food. The comfort food and the soul food of the South is based on the Africans that were brought here.
Right.
Period.
Right. And in my opinion, all of Charleston, South Carolina, and all that whole food scene, it wouldn't be there would be nothing. There'd be people slinging hoagies or some bullshit down there if it wasn't for like black people and the imprint that we put, especially on that city. I mean, it goes to Savannah and Atlanta, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to underestimate that, but that's where the blacks got off that boat, and all of that is
all
black
of that
people.
landed there.
All fucking ALL. It's not a question. Go and look at this. Go. You don't believe me? Go look. All documented. They talk about it. They talk about where to get all the information. It is all there, people. High on the Hog. They're gonna have a second season. Darren tells me
Yeah,
it's just amazing. You can get that. You can stream that in one Saturday morning, and you'll be all up in your feelings though after that the rest of the Saturday. I'm warning you because it's emotional and it's not just about food. It really is. It really touches your heart. It tells you what these people like. It really puts you on those boats. It puts you before those boats. It puts you all over that shit. Doug, I know you've seen it. I don't know if you want to jump in here and how you got a point on it, but I mean, it's just too much. It's on some level, it's too much, Darren. Not too much, but it just hits you all at once. That like, damn, Doug.
I have not seen it yet, and I'm kicking myself for it because it's one of those things that like I'm such a freaking busybody and I don't sit freaking still that if I sit and I'm like, okay, I've watched one thing, I need to move. I'll put that in my queue and watch that.
Doug, I'm worse than you at this shit. You know I am. You know I can't watch like shows, and it really once you start watching it, you and Joe be through it in like minutes because you just won't be able to stop. It's one of those. It's only I think it's a 3-parter, right, Darren?
Yeah, it's short. It's 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Doug, you should be able to get through it because you get through seasons and stuff, and you do movies, and you do way more like attention things than I do. I'm crazy about this shit, but High on the Hog, man, it got me that second that it started, and it just kept me. Maybe it was subject matter, but it was just, it was just fast paced. It was great, and again, it touched all the feels. You get angry, you get happy, you get holy shit, you get fuck you get them all. You get them all in like a little bit of time, and it's just like you want to fight people, then you want to hug people. Then you're just astonished, and you're happy. Then it's really, really great. I'm looking forward to season 2 or whatever. I don't know when that's coming out. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna get the alert and I'm gonna be on it. I'll be screaming and hollering about it on social media. So it's all good. But that show really speaks to what Darren's talking about on a broader level. Darren's going in deep here, and it's great. Don't get me wrong. The High on the Hog is a broader, you know what I mean? It's really good shit. It's just great. Darren, before we move forward, I have to make sure that everybody sees these things, and then I'll let you go back on what you're talking about. Art Eddie says all of Darren's barbecue posts look good. Our friend Roberto says that you're his go-to. He calls and texts you. So
he's my unofficial brand ambassador.
Yep, I'm enjoying the energy level and enthusiasm. So someone says, am I the only one that assumed all good barbecue came from black people? I didn't always, but now, oh hell yeah.
Right.
Art says, I'm pretty sure that's Art. Order some sauce and rub from Carter's. Been there, done that. I was on your website 2 days ago looking at the sauces again, so we're gonna do that again because in my family, we bought a Kamado Joe.
Komodo Joe, yeah, those are good.
Yeah, and we did the smoked thighs today. Fantastic. Problem is that we haven't really settled on a barbecue sauce, and a barbecue sauce that everybody says that they want again is Teresa's honey. So we're gonna have to do something about that. Now I already ruined my family. Teresa's honey is Darren's, I think, one barbecue sauce. I think you got a couple, but that's the one.
Just that one.
Okay, just one. But I feel something. I feel there's more in the pipeline.
Teresa's sweet honey, and then I got a pork and chicken rub. So those are 2 items that I got right now. Actually, now while we're on Brothers and Booze, I am tinkering with a bourbon barbecue sauce. Tinkering with a bourbon barbecue sauce, and I got some feelers out now. Roberto actually had some a garlic seasoning, so those maybe the garlic seasoning will probably come out first. The bourbon one, I don't like it just yet, so we'll see.
Okay. See. Lauren says she missed ribs. That's what I got on an agenda tomorrow, Lauren. Got some ribs going. Unfortunately, I don't have Darren's barbecue sauce, so I got to get that in. But Darren, I don't know. There's a couple out there. You could probably talk to this a little bit, but there's a couple out of black barbecue. You're not the only black barbecue guy who has his own sauce. And when we do curbside, we're still doing curbsides here at our house, and we get on the website, whether it be Walmart or whatever we go, and we see these barbecue sauces with black guys on it. And I want black barbecue people. I know they're all watching the stream now, Doug, but the ones that are, besides Darren, put your face on the barbecue sauce, please, because I'm more likely to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know that. And we did it in our house. We've done it before. I forget the one that we have now in the house. It's pretty good, but it's a little bit liquidy, Darren, for our taste. Like it's a little bit is it fluid is the word, where we want ours to be a little bit more thicker, like Teresa's honey is. A little bit thicker. But it's just fantastic. And you know, where I can, I buy black, of course. But the barbecue sauce thing, it's real. Darren's is amazing. So hold on real quick. I want to answer one more question. Victor says, where can we see this? So let me put this back up again, Victor. It is, oh no, it's not that one. It's this one. It's Netflix, High in the Hog. Victor, it's out there, Netflix. Check it out. You'll love it. I'm telling you, it's great. Any more High on the Hog comments before we move on? Doug, and then Doug, you're second after Darren.
I liked it. I mean, the guy who was doing it, narrating it, as a television viewer, he kind of made me doze a little bit. But you know, the content was
it great. Keeps you there. It keeps you there.
And again, like you said, it bubbled and boiled up those emotions of why can't we just have it all, in the sense of let's just tell the truth about the history. It ain't all bad. It ain't all good. But let's just give credit where credit is due, and be done with it. You know.
I think Stubbs is the one that I had. Is Stubbs black owned?
I don't know.
Do you know?
Be honest with you.
They got a black man on it, so that helped me buy it. But so did fucking Aunt Jemima. So that's another story. Well, I'm just saying, folks. Doug, do you have a second, or are you ready? Or
yeah, I opened the Uncle Nearest. I hadn't opened it before, and I don't know if you heard me coughing because I accidentally inhaled at the wrong moment. So I'm doing great. This is a little smoother than most bourbons that I drink. Like I'm not really a bourbon guy. I'm more of a Scotch guy. But this doesn't have that super harsh burn that sometimes you get from bourbon. This is pretty good. This would be excellent in some like mixed drink things, like, because not so. Like I have the problem for me with bourbon is, to me, it's a bit harsh at times, depending on the kind you get. But this is really good. I'm really enjoying this. So cheers.
Cheers. Amen. I'm going to jump on mine real quick. Whoa, now I'm spilling everywhere. So Local Traces is a collaboration between somebody and somebody that was at Fresh Fest, and meanwhile I'm spilling it all over the damn place. Trace Brewing. I'm so bad at this. Doug, we're gonna get better at this. Long story really short. One of my big projects this week, Doug, is to redo my streaming studio here. And I ordered some equipment. I told you I am not able to do my traveling this fall. Unfortunately, Darren, I'm not traveling like I normally am because of my hospital stay. I'm not going to the events that I normally go. So instead, I've engaged in some retail therapy. And I bought some I bought some streaming equipment that I normally have. So I'll be able to have different views, and I'll have shifting things going on here. Nice. Hopefully soon. We'll see, maybe next week, but I'm not pushing it because, as I said, I need to not push it like I normally be pushing shit. But one of the things we're gonna have, Doug, hopefully, is that we'll just have a camera on my beer. And my beer will just sit there and everybody could see, especially as I spill it all over the place here. And
you wouldn't be the first person that's done that on this show. be me.
Right. And then I didn't have wonderful ABC heckling you.
Yeah,
that was amazing. That was great.
That was really
we can only
clever.
do that again. But getting back to Darren here. Oh, this is really good. It's a double dry hop pale, which is basically a small IPA nowadays. This is really good. Look at that. Look at that clearness. Refreshing. I believe the ABV is low, slammable, wonderful. But Doug, why I take this? Doug loves to tell a story about Darren and I. And it's really apropos to this whole conversation because I was in Cleveland when I was traveling doing my road trips. I had dropped by Cleveland a couple times. I think one was going to Fresh Fest. I think another time I met my friend there, and we had a weekend, and then I came home.
You hear he said he met his friend, Doug. You hear that, right?
Yeah,
wow.
Just the one, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm going to drink my beer, and Doug can tell the rest of the story because he loves telling it so much.
It's all right. So the last time I think we were all in the same vicinity of each other was Dad 2.0 in February 2020.
Yes.
And we're at this conference.
Yes.
And Darren is just heckling the shit out of Greg for being in Cleveland and not giving him a, hey, man, you want to hang out? Twice. So, and Greg is just like, I know. And Darren, you just did not let up on it. It was the best. It was the best because Greg knew.
And I just shut up and took my.
He's like,
I took my beating.
I have no excuse.
Right. I took my beating.
I'm like, dude, of all people, how can you come to Cleveland not once, but twice, and not even shoot a text or nothing, or just didn't even give me the opportunity to say I can't meet. Didn't even give me the opportunity.
The second time was really bad though, and the reason was because Darren was all set up. If I recall correctly, you were all set up with your barbecue. You had an event or something was going on where, like, sometimes I think again, I'm not sure, but sometimes I think the first time I rolled through, I don't think you were like in on like the whole barbecue. I mean, you were doing it, but there wasn't like an event where you had like food ready. Mm-hmm. The second time you had food ready, and you even said it to me on the way. You're like, man, you missed my barbecue too. And I was like, that was like, with all due respect, that really made it worse. when I found out the barbecue was involved, and then I just didn't. So like, I did have a chance to get Darren's barbecue. This man was about to roll out the barbecue for me, and I was just in another. I don't know, but I did hopefully make it up to Darren earlier this year. Darren, I don't know if you don't want to talk about that.
Yes, let's hear it.
What we do?
Well, what happened was I ended up winning.
Yes. Wait, yeah.
So I'll tell the part of the story, and then I want to hear your experience because we actually never talked about it.
Yeah.
You sent me some pictures, and I saw it, and it was great. But long story short, everybody knows I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, but I never lived in that city. I just adopted them because I hated the Steelers and I hated the Eagle fans, and I didn't want nothing to do with any Pennsylvania teams, nor do I ever, and nor will I ever. So I don't care if I was born there. I don't give a fuck. I hate all the teams generally, and I hate the fans. They're annoying, and they were annoying since I was born, and they're going to be annoying when I'm dead. It doesn't really matter. So F Pennsylvania teams, no. So I'm a Browns fan. And long story short, I followed the Browns, and I was able to win 2 tickets to a preseason game. But of course, I wasn't able to go because I live in Wisconsin. This is before even the hospital scare that I had. So I called. Darren was literally when I was entering it. Darren was in my head about, if I win this, Darren's going to be the first person. And I won it. It was crazy. I didn't even mean to. So I called Darren, or I text Darren, you want these tickets? Darren's like, hell yeah. And Darren, you can tell the rest of the story.
Dude, so I was like, what? So it was a preseason game. We only had one. It was against the Giants. And I was like, cool, man. I mean, I'll go. So called my friend. I actually took my pass to him. We went, and we had a great time. We were in a dog pound. It was like 80-something degrees, almost 88, and the sun was just beaming on this bald head of mine. It was hot. The only thing, Cleveland Browns Stadium is foo-foo now. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you build the new stadium and too many sponsors get involved, the dog pound isn't really. You can't manufacture that, and they try to manufacture that a little bit. But the dog pound was still cool. I mean, this guy probably had 10 before we got there, and 10 while we were there. And the last 5 minutes, he had, sounds
about Cleveland.
He had cucumbers on the eyes, talking about, yeah, bro. It was cool. We got there, we got to see the touchdown. We got to see the first score. Of course, we got to experience the game. And it was awesome. I mean, because there's so much excitement for this year. So even though most of our first string didn't play, I think Baker played. No, he didn't play this one. No, he didn't play this one at all. But we got to see some good football, and football is football. I mean, we know preseason is what it is. And I was happy, man. I was cool. We left there. We had a good time. We had some dogs, some brats, and it was good, man.
Pictures were good, man. Pictures were fine. That was awesome.
And I appreciate it. I think. Oh, and by the way, I don't think I ever thank you for letting me use your Zoom for my thing last year. Every year I do a backpack drive for foster children. I'm sure both of you have seen that, and probably some people there too. It's my birthday wish. I call it Darren's birthday wish. So I collect backpacks during the month of my birthday, which is December, and then filler items. I always have a link in my link tree to where they can go to the Amazon wish list and buy stuff. But last year I was like, well, I want to do something else for people. People have done that for me. Thank you. But I want to do something for people. And because we were going through the pandemic, I was like, and my wife, my daughter talked about it. She's like, why don't we do something with self-care? Like, cool. So we had like a little self-care summit, had a yogi come. They was doing some yoga, and I was able to all do this on Zoom because of Greg. He helped me out with his account because my account sucked. So he helped me out with his account. So we were able to have, some counselors on there, marriage counselors, children's counselors. We had yogi, we had physical meditation, just all kind of things. We had a comedy night. We had a little mini concert. It was wonderful, and I couldn't have done it without your help, Greg. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Cheers, absolutely, and I'm glad to be able to help enable that.
Oh, you see this? See that wonderful thing?
Yes.
This is a Wendy's cup from like the 70s. Wendy's used to give these out in the 70s.
Is that why the helmets are no longer brown? They're like white.
Under glass. It's because of the glass, man.
Sorry. It looks like something on Tech Mobile when you pick a helmet for a team, and it was just like what?
Right. Oh, by the way, Stubbs Barbecue is black owned. I just looked it up. It is black owned. Whoever asked that question.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was looking up one that I use, which is called Rufus Teagues, because I like their. They have a honey, sweet heat honey one that I like. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's not black owned. Although they have a guy in there who's on the label, he ambiguously looks slightly blackish.
Blackish.
Yeah, he doesn't. But yeah, no.
There's a lot of. People are like, well, why do you want to do this and do that? There's a niche for everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be a Sweet Baby Ray. I'm not going to say I'm going to be whatever. There's so many different sauces and spices and rubs and stuff out there. But I just like mine, and this was just something to see if it has legs, and something I would love to do to hopefully build it up. But it comes from here again. Did you make this sauce? Is this your sauce? Yes. Ooh, can I have extra? People kept, asking, can I have extra? Okay, well, let me see if I'll sell it if people will like it. Same thing about the rubs. What do you put on these ribs? Well, this is my rub, that I took both of them at least 2-3 years to get to the point to where I want them now. It was a good process. And I don't mind sharing it if you're going to pay for it. You pay for it. I don't mind sharing it.
Right. Well, here. So, real quick though, I need to answer this. So you wear Browns. Do you hate yourself? No.
Really?
I just I just had to answer that. Yes, the Browns sucked, but I was explaining this before to a Vikings fan I was talking about. People forget that the Browns sucked, especially the year where it was 0 wins and 1 win. That was on purpose, folks. They did it on purpose. Like, it's well documented. You can go back and see it. It wasn't
if you read Terry Pluto's book, if you read his book, all this was masterminded by the NFL to not succeed when they came back. Basically, because they were embarrassed that Mike White took them to court, forced them to give the rights back to Cleveland.
Right. But I'm talking right, but people, the recent memory thing, people remember them being won a game in 2 years. They did that on purpose, y'all. It's pretty documented. You can go back and see that. It wasn't like they were just being the Jets. Okay, got it. They were the Jets before that year.
Yes,
before that, right. They weren't just being the Jets or being, sorry, Doug, the Jaguars. He's not around. Whatever. The point is that, like, they did that on purpose so that they would suck, so that you would get the product that they got now. Yeah. So do you want to talk about that product now? Because no, I don't hate myself for loving the product that they have now.
It's all about what have you done for me lately. And I actually wanted the Jaguars to win last night.
Oh, so did I, but
I wanted them to win.
Well, it's the Bengals. It's the Bengals. I call them the Bengals. I usually call them the Bangles because they suck. When they're below 50, when they're below 500, I call them that 80s band. But when they're when they're above 500, I can't call them the Bengals because they're actually doing well. But they're not going to win the division, folks. Don't get that out of your mind. Let's just stop with all that. So anyway, Tecmo Bowl for the win. Yes. So they drafted Tim Couch as part of the plan. They were an expansion team. They're going to suck anyway. Let's see here. What's their excuse for the previous 60 years? There is no
60 years.
There was no excuse. They were one of the best teams ever before there was a Super Bowl.
They won championships.
Right.
When I was growing up, they were competitive. The 70s and 80s, come on.
Did that person forget about the Belichick years where they were really solid and they had Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, all these people who could really coach, Marty Schottenheimer? Go down the list. They had Biner, they had Webster Slaughter. I can go down the list. I'm not trying. Listen, but you chose to go back to the late 60s. Look, it's their franchise. It's who they are.
Because somebody said something about the 60s. Right. How you going to say, but you chose to go back to the 60s when you said, oh, you talk about my 60s. Really?
Look, pre-Super Bowl, come on. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Look, you asked about it. We told you. Enough of the trolls.
Hey, at least you're not the Jaguars who have been in the playoffs, I think, twice ever. Maybe 3 times.
I'm not even trying to talk about Urban Meyer either. I'm not.
That motherfucker. I wish he never would have been hired. Sorry.
You're gonna get me.
I hate it. Remember when they hired him? And I said to you, that was a terrible hire. And you're like, well, let's give it a chance. I'm like, no, that is a bad hire.
Well, would you rather have him or Chicago's coach?
I'd rather have Nagy.
Oh, wow.
I'd rather have him.
Wow. Who's going to cover Justin Jefferson? His name is Greedy Williams. Go on. Go on, Doug. That's a simple answer, actually. Go on.
Yeah, listen.
Or Denzel Ward.
Urban Meyer is every place he's been. It turns into a shit show, and he leaves for some serious illness,
health reasons.
Yes.
He does win though. He gets to the point where he wins.
He does. Yeah.
He's a mess. He's a
college. He is a college coach. It's like when Steve Spurrier went to the Redskins. Well, not the Redskins, the Washington Professional Football Team, whatever they're calling now. But when he went there, he thought he could do his college shtick where he worked like 6 hours and went and had martinis. And I'm like, you're in the NFL, baby. That don't fly. You can't
all
do
day,
that stuff.
baby, all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Look, man, I'm right, and I'm real. Listen, man, I think we all should be sensitive about people's health. I don't think we should make fun of it.
Agreed.
I don't think that we should really downplay it or anything. But he's talking about that health thing already, Doug. And it's like, dude, like, with all due respect, like, you were downplaying that when you got this job. Now you're trying to bring this up because it seems like maybe you're trying to get your little way out because this is a little bit harder. Like the thing that I don't like Doug enough is that he is mismanaging his young QB. That's what I don't like about much. And I don't think it's even a question, actually. It's not really even my opinion. I think he's mismanaging his young QB. He's trying to fit this guy into his system instead of saying, hey, this guy has this, here's this guy's, skill set. Let's tailor my shit to him as opposed to the other way around. So I don't know. We'll see, Doug, but I'm not feeling well about your Jaguars. I'm not. Neither you never are. So
the thing is like we tend to draft, and forgive me, we tend to draft very white named quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, we have Blake Bortles, and then we have what the other like. Could we pick some less suburban guys to freaking lead our team? Like it just see we get all these guys and they all are just bleh. Now Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to be a fine quarterback if he just gets the right coaching, but Jaguars just keep making dumb decisions in the coaching like time and time again.
Bill Belichick was 36-44 and got fired. Yeah, by Art Modell and Ozzie Newsome of the Baltimore Ravens. Just so you know, and just so we can put that straight. Thank you. The Browns did not fire Bill Belichick. Pretty well documented. You can look that up. Thank you. Anywho, I want to just say you want a black QB, Doug.
I just want somebody that doesn't sound like they're going to the the fancy rich white academy. That's what I want.
Right. So Doug, I want to show a clip now, and I want to get Darren's opinion on it, but I really want to get your opinion on it because you were on the front lines of this recently. Not necessarily the front lines, but you were in this scenario a little bit, I think, or maybe not this. Just shut up, Greg, and just play the damn clip. Yelling stop during a fight rarely works. I just want to write that down.
Did he give him a titty twister?
Yes.
Purple nurple or whatever you call it.
Is this plane in the air? Is this plane in the air? I believe it is, actually.
Whoa!
How can you have a belt on and your pants still down? I hate that. That is just so. I'm not a W generation person. I can't stand it.
All right, so to answer Victor's question, the caption on the video says that it was about them putting their seat back. So I want to ask Darren, I know you've been on the plane, right? A couple times, right? I mean, right. So is putting the seat, like, are we at that point where, like, the seat goes back for a reason? I've heard this argument before. I want everybody to chime in. Comments, please. I want to see the comments. What about putting your seat back leads to this shit? What about that? Can anybody, Doug, you were on a plane for, I think 15 hours one way or some bullshit, or 11 or whatever.
Not the Icelander back, but no. But yeah.
What did you say?
Are you talking about Iceland? Because
what was it, 7 or 6, or what was it?
Two there was 5.5, back was 6.
Oh, okay. I keep forgetting that you're in New York, so you're closer. The lady here went to Iceland, and it was like 7 or 8 or something.
Well, we also had a direct flight. We didn't have a layover or any of that shit. So
okay, gotcha. Right, she did it too. She did the hop. My point is that get to the putting the seat back. Where are we at with all this?
All right. So
what the hell's going on?
Yeah. If I can go, Darren, I will just say my piece first.
Yeah. What the hell's going on?
I think it's going to sound weird because the space you get is literally like this much space. It's not It's like 3 or 4 inches. That's literally the most you get in like regular like economy class, which is all I can afford. But like you lean back and you get maybe 4 inches of space. But if you lean it back like and just like really fast, that seems like hyper aggressive. But even so, it's not like it doesn't come and like hit you. It doesn't get that close. It's just more like, oh, okay, and you can lean back too. But yeah, I don't see the aggression on that. Why that happened?
Darren.
You know, sometimes you probably just catch somebody on the wrong day.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what happened.
Okay.
Caught somebody on the wrong day. Dude probably put his thing back. Guy, maybe, you know, can you move it up? He's like, okay, I put up a little bit, didn't put it up enough. Can you move it back? Man, I did put it up. And then, you know, there you go. It was probably just a thing to light the fuse that was already dipped in fuel. That's the only way I can see that happening. Just out of just daily routine, that's ridiculous. But I would have to say one of those brothers didn't have a good day and just try to take it out on the other.
Right. Well,
you get room. You get room.
Isn't the counter to put your seat back?
Well, even if you don't put your seat back, you still have enough room to do what you're doing. It doesn't take away leg space to where you have to cramp yourself up. Now, what could have been happening though is dude in the back was, you know, kneeing his knees or something in the seat. That could have probably ticked him off too. You know, will you please stop kicking the seat or whatever? That could have happened as well.
Right.
I'm just, assuming, you know what assuming does, so you know.
Yeah. I just want to make sure when I'm ready to get back on the plane that I don't. I just put my seat back. What do you want?
I think you see a little bit more of this on like domestic flights as opposed to like international ones.
Yeah.
I think because all the international stuff, everybody has to wear a mask the entire time. They don't mess around with that. You got to put it on. I think that people know that going in when they're going international, and then I think and like domestically, I think they're like, well, I can get away with that. And then I think that's part of it. That's only a small part of it. Darren's point that you maybe just caught the person on the wrong day, that's probably the truth. Like just caught the person on the wrong day.
Right, but it takes two to tango, though. So 2 people didn't really have a good day because again,
well, once you started, I mean, you know, the other one's not going to back down. I mean, once you start going and jibber jabbering, you know, a couple of girls in the back, they could have been wives, girlfriends, significant others, or somebody's. You're not going at that point. It's, you know, I just got to go all in.
Right, because you're not going to back down. Your girl's there.
No.
Right. How is this possible, Lauren? I'm trying to figure it all out. I'm not even lying.
Like you said, quarantine.
I think Lauren was there though for the conversation where I was getting broken down at that too by Darren. I'm pretty sure Lauren was at that table. If not, Doug, I remember we did have a conversation with. I don't know if you were there, Doug, but I know that Darren and I and Lauren were sitting at the same table. In that little like when you walk into the hotel and then it has like dip.
Yep.
Where everybody was like hanging out. Lauren and I and Darren absolutely had some great conversations and shared some drinks and some of those crazy appetizers that they had there. It's just those little things that you remember. Now getting back to that too, it's those little times that you remember that I to me are because the word precious got brought up, not in this way, but in a way of like remembering things. And that too was the last conference I was at. Yeah.
Same here.
Still. So I still remember those times, and these are the times where, in my opinion, you make bonds with people, even if I was getting ripped down or not, Doug. Deservedly so. I didn't even
You was getting ripped because we have a bond.
Right. But one of the things though, y'all know I'm a fighter, and if I can fight, I'm gonna fight. And I didn't have any fight. I was just like, look, this is the time where you just shut up. I'm trying to teach my kids this too. Like when you're in the wrong, sometimes you just need to shut the fuck up and listen to the people that you take your medicine, and the people that you hurt, the people that feel that they need to come at you. If you are the one who did that, then you need to shut up and take your, what you say there, Doug? Penance?
Take your medicine.
Take your medicine. Absolutely. So yeah, but Lauren remembers. And that was just a good time. So Doug, I don't know if you want to jump into your third, but I know that you have pressing issues that you have to deal with, Darren. And you were talking about it before.
Oh yeah.
In the pre chat. So little inside ball. I kind of want to keep this at an hour and a half. Like I said before, I'm not cranking like I normally crank. So I want to make sure Doug gets this pressing issue that he has to deal with, Darren. I'm going to jump off the stream a little bit while these two talk, but I'll be back. Doug, shoot.
All right. So I'm going to talk a bit about brisket. I don't have a whole lot of experience smoking them. I was telling you in pre-production that I was using this Myra Mixon was where we got into that, where he was doing kind of this abbreviated version where it was like almost 6 hours. You brought up the temp, but you did it at a higher temp, and it was good. And then I decided to try to do one long form, for lack of a better term, like the real slow and low. And it was only a 5 pound brisket because I want to do them small because that's kind of about where is comfortable for me for making stuff for my family. So I have 8,000 pounds of brisket. So I made it and it went, even though it was low and slow, I started at midnight thinking, I'll put in, I have an electric smoker. I am not a purist. I don't do all that. I can't keep up with doing all the stuff with the non-electric stuff. So it's just easy. I put it in, I set temp and I let it go. And then I got up at 6 and it was like, oh my God, it's almost ready to wrap. Like I wasn't like it was way faster because it was a smaller brisket.
Small, yeah.
Yeah. So I have 2 of them I'm doing this time. So instead of doing 1, I'm doing 2. But I want to know what your prep process is. How do you prep them? What do you use? Like the ones I just do is like salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and that's it. What do you do?
Same. Except for the garlic. Prep for my briskets. I mean, there's here again, like we talked earlier, there's so many seasonings out there, and people like to pack the flavor, as they say. With brisket, for me, I'm sort of a purist. And I say sort of because I put salt and pepper, kosher salt, 50-50 with some large cracked pepper. And I use a tidbit, just a light dusting of my rub. Personally, you would use Carter's rub? Yep, I would too, because I do. So I do use a little bit. So I have those 3 particular spice seasonings together on my briskets. I don't do too much. Before I had my rub, I did salt, pepper, and I did do a little garlic, and sometimes paprika. Sometimes I didn't like that too much, but a good heavy dose of salt and pepper get you a nice bark. I use my seasoning just for flavor because it has a little. What am I trying to think of? Sugar in there. Brown sugar in it, and just to caramelize that bark a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you can experiment and do a whole bunch of stuff, but you can never go wrong with the SPG. You can never go wrong with that.
Yeah, I never heard it called SPG, but that makes total sense. Like it's like, oh yeah, just do that. And I was like, I initially, because I work in IT, like it's all acronyms, and it was like, what acronym am I missing there?
Yeah.
What
people sell it like that. They sell their seasoning, SPG seasoning. The Pit Boys, they're on Facebook. I don't know if you ever saw them. I love them. Yeah, old white guys with long white beards. They just cook outside. It's just cool. I love them. But they, that's basically what they use for anything. SPG is what they call it.
Is there a particular wood that you use? Like, do you prefer, or do you kind of vary it up? Do you mix them? What's your preferred method there with the wood?
For me, most of what I cook with, Jeff is right. No need to do too much on a brisket. Got to let the smoke hit the meat. That is true. You do want the meat to shine, but you want a heavy bark. You can't really you can, but it's nice to have a good coating of your seasoning or however your combination on there. To get that bark and settle in, to get that nice crust. It's a big piece of meat. You ain't gonna hurt it. It's a big piece of meat. Woods usually, it's not a beef type wood, but I love apple.
Mhm.
I use apple for everything. It goes well with pork.
Yeah.
What I would do though is mix a little mesquite in there while I'm going. But I'm an apple guy. I like it with all my meats. But it makes my pork taste a lot better. But with brisket, I may kick a little mesquite because it's a lot heavier.
Mm.
And it gives it a more of a pungent flavor for me. A lot of
Yeah.
people use oak, and all that kind of stuff. I don't get that. I mean, here for me, this is one thing about barbecue. You can do it whatever way you want to,
Mhm.
whatever way tastes good to you. You don't have to do it Kansas City style. You don't have to do it Memphis style. You don't have to do it, Carolina style. You can do it Carter style. You can do it whatever style you want. If you want to be peach wood on there, I don't know how it tastes, but if it tastes good to you, do it, because it's all about one of the things about barbecue, it feeds not only the people that you're feeding, but it feeds the soul. It feeds the communities. Barbecue is a food for a community. And whatever makes that community happy, whether it's the 2 people or 5 people in your home, to your city block, or to your, to whatever organization you will, if that works for you, do it, man. You can't, all these people, you got to do it. Dude, do what makes you happy with your barbecue, because you're the one eating it. And some people just don't like certain things. So
Right.
yeah, but yeah, I'm a apple on every meat that I have, but I do sprinkle in other woods depending on what I'm cooking.
My family likes apple. My family likes cherry, and my family likes pecan.
Pecan is really good. It does a heavier smoke. The mesquite is a real heavy, dense, flavor. The wood flavors, like the fruity flavors, like the cherry and the apple, they're not as heavy, but you can tell there's a little presence there. There can tell there's a little presence there. And then oak is just the same. It's a nice oak, burns real long. Gives you a nice hot burn. So that's why a lot of people like to use that. So you won't have to, continue to feed the fire. But here again, it's all about preference. And Doug, don't worry. Me personally, I don't have a pellet smoker. If somebody gave me one, I would use it. I wouldn't buy it, but I would use it. That's only because the way I like to do barbecue. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't learn what I've learned or went through the journey that I went through, then I probably would get a pellet smoker myself. I don't really care. I got a little gnat. My thing is, my thing was with people that do, let the culture of barbecue, the passion of barbecue, and the journey of barbecue, however you do it, if it makes who you're cooking for happy, do you, man. And whatever grill, whether it's Komodo, stick burner, pellet,
Traeger.
Oh, well, they're the pellets, but Traegers,
Right. That's
if that makes
right.
you,
Right.
if that makes you good, what the heck? If that makes you good, oh, it's these lights. That's what it is. If that makes you happy and produces some good meat, then fine. Now, if you've gone over to the deep side of barbecue, to where you're contesting and doing all this kind of stuff, then for me personally, I expect you to at least have some type of stick burner. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the essence of barbecue, where you have to tend the pit. That's how it started when we came over here or brought over here from our continent. We had to tend those pits, and that was long, hard, tedious work. So now, if you go to that side, or you get into that side of barbecue, then I expect a little bit more, and that's just here again,
right.
my opinion. But yeah.
So, Darren, got a question for you. Is there a black-owned barbecue list joints? And let me explain what he means so we all know. Like Beervana. Beervana is a beer blog by my friend now, Jeff Allworth, who's a beer writer. He put together a database of black-owned LGBTQ owned breweries.
Okay.
And so then when when you travel, you can look them all up, and you can make sure that you go to places that you feel relate to you or whatever. So is there one like that for barbecue joints or black people or minorities or anything like that?
Sorta. And because I don't know of any, but what I do know is if you go on Instagram and look up the Unknowns Black Pitmasters,
Okay.
I highlight, and then I'll tell you how I started. I highlight Black Pitmasters or Black lovers of the craft of barbecue. And they have joints all across the country. Now it's just starting. The Unknowns, remember I told you, going back to the Southern Living article, and I told you that they put the Unknowns as the number one, influence of barbecue or whatever.
Yep.
I said, what if I made a Facebook group? There you go. What if I made a Facebook group and the Master of Q, Erica, she's in Dayton, Ohio, by the way. Just want to let you know. we got a chance to do a live there, which is still up. It's some good information. But she's from Ohio, actually in Silver Springs, where Dave Chappelle lives, and we talked about barbecue and how people try to diss Ohio barbecue and everything else. But I highlight the Black Pitmasters. What I wanted to do when I saw that, I was like, cool. Why don't I make something that we can kind of all come together, learn history, people can know each other, get together, whatever. And I did a closed Facebook group, and the Facebook is only open to people that look like me. So if you don't look like me, or if your color is not of a darker hue, you can't come. People say, why can't you do that? Huh?
Hold on real quick. I'm sorry. Hold on quick. So Darren, this is your Instagram, meaning you started this.
I started the Facebook group and this, yes.
Okay. So this is okay. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that this is Darren's thing here. I wanted to make sure I didn't get that already. So I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's
but
fine.
I wanted to make sure that this is you. So when people follow that, they're following you, and you are documenting this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry. Go on, buddy.
So the Facebook group is closed because there are a lot of things and issues that we have to deal with in our community, just like everything else that we want to deal with amongst ourselves. Okay. And, just like anything else, yes, people show their food and this, but, hopefully the group goes where we got some OGs to come in. I don't know. Did you all see the Netflix barbecue brawl? Not the barbecue showdown, America's Barbecue Showdown.
Yeah, I saw some of it, not all of it, but
yes. Great
The
show.
the lovely older black lady that was on there, Sylvia.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She joined the group. I was like,
yes.
But people like that can impart so much wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They can impart so much wisdom. And like we got up here, Matt Horn. The dude is amazing what he's doing. Brian Furman, the first black man to ever have like a barbecue joint in Atlanta's football stadium, I think it was, or the basketball stadium, whatever, which one it was.
Yes.
The dude is amazing. These people are amazing, and we don't know about them. All we know about is Aaron Franklin, Tuffy Stone, Myron Mixon, and it's okay to know about them. It's okay. Let's just know about everybody else too. So I was like, okay, that seems like a void. Well, how can I do to fix it? Because the one thing I'm doing, I'm getting older, y'all. I ain't got time to complain a lot about what things are going on. My point is, if I can't add something to try to fix it, then I'm not going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it because that's just wasting my money because I'm not doing nothing to fix it. So here I thought, okay, let's start the Facebook group. Cool. We can keep that. Hopefully that'll grow. But then, okay, I'm learning about some new people. Well, let me do the Instagram page too, because people can see these, people can see these people. So I started that. I'm trying to build that up. it's a lot. My ADD, I'm up sometime, I'm down sometime, I'm up sometime, I'm down sometime. But I just try to keep it. This dude plates by the pound. He started barbecue within a year. And thanks, Jonathan, man. Within a year, he went from going out of his home, driving all over Denver, winning a Preserve the Pit, Kingsford, Preserve the Pit grant. Now he got his own brick and mortar. That's a hustle, man. That's a hustle. Mm-hmm. Who does that? Within a year, you went from driving out of your house because your wife asked you to make some dinners because people was asking too many, to now you own a restaurant, a takeout restaurant. That's something to be said. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, I just want people to be I want my people to be represented in everything that they should be represented in. Because if we have representation, then my little boy can see that it's not that difficult to get there. Because I see people like me getting there. You see what I'm saying? If my boy can see me work hard at work, or at least try to work hard at work, and then work hard at building this, who I hopefully can give to him or somebody, then he can come up knowing that, well, you ain't gonna take me at a job. Screw you. I'm gonna do my own thing because I got the knowledge, I got the know-how, and I can do this. Why? Because I saw somebody else that looked like me do that. We don't have enough of that, and I'm tired of that.
Yes,
I'm just tired of
it.
it.
Yes, sir.
So, okay,
I use Duraflame. Is that good?
Duraflame, the wood? Is that what you're talking about?
How's Roberto being a knucklehead?
You said it, Doug, not me, so he can troll you. Doug, you have something, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to go to my third whiskey before we get into the rest of the stuff. Because we were talking, Darren, you were saying about, I think it's cool that you saw the culture stuff. Well, I'm going to really gross you out with this next one. This is Floki, Icelandic single malt whiskey, sheep dung smoked reserve. Sheep dung smoked. Dried sheep dung. They use it as a way to smoke stuff.
What?
That's because they have a plentiful amount of it because they have a zillion sheep. They use to dry it and it burns, so they can use it to create a smoke flavor.
When we were in church, when they wanted to leave, they stick that finger up and they kind of like tiptoe out the way.
Right.
It's pretty light colored.
Just because you have a lot of things doesn't mean you need to use it.
Yes, that is true. But I will. All right.
Whatever.
Hey man, when in Rome,
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, it has no aroma like poop. If that's what you're thinking, it doesn't taste like that. It's very smoky, like a very smoky Scotch, but has the bourbon burn on the end. So that's kind of what that is. If I put this in a glass, you would never know that that's part of their process. You would just think it's a very smoky bourbon.
Some things is best not to tell me.
Yeah.
Snake hooch.
Ooh. Well, now that's a story that has to be told, I think, on the show sometimes.
Right. But Darren's face said it all, though. Right. So
you're welcome.
Doug, did you ever follow up, or do we need to talk about?
A real quick follow up, and then let's get to the next stuff.
That's fine.
So, Darren, your philosophy on barbecue about eat it the way you like, make it the way you like. That's our philosophy with drinking here. It's like people are like, we've had people on, they drink Coors Light. Well, great, that's what you like. Have at it. Like you only get one go round. Like enjoy what you enjoy. Don't sit there and if you want to experiment and try different stuff, great. But if you found something that's your thing that you can go to and you enjoy it, do that. Right. The one thing I want to ask is one wood that I've used for ribs that I really like because the smoke really comes through, the smoke flavor, is alder wood. Have you ever used alder?
I have not.
Yeah,
that's not easy to get around here.
Yeah, it's not a super common one. I found it at weirdly Home Depot one time when I was over in the grilling area. I was like, all right, well, I'll try this. And it just puts this super, mesquite is a heartier smoke
Very harsh,
flavor.
yeah.
This is a smoother smoke flavor, but it's really permeates into the meat. So if you have a chance to try it, man, I'm not sure if you like apple, I'm not sure you're going to want to combine those together, but
I always, I try, I'm always up to trying with certain things I just ain't going with, but
yeah,
I will,
like sheep dung whiskey.
yeah, not going with it, but some things I will try. And I'm not mad about that. Now let me ask you this, and everybody that's out there, ribs, there's a misconception about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if your ribs are falling off, it's not that they don't taste good, because they do. But technically they're overdone. If you pick them up or try to pick them up and you can't even cut them because they're falling apart, they're overdone. They're overdone. With the rib, and even with the chickens and everything or whatever, you should be able to bite it and pull clean and have the bite mark in. I mean, they love to do that for competition, but even just for our home backyard, you should be able to bite it and you have a nice clean pull. That is basically the perfect temperature. Now, that can be anywhere from 198 to 205. It just all depends on, what you like. But, and I'm not saying it's not good, because they do taste good, but that tenderness and falling off the bone is overdone. It's overdone. And that's a conception that people hate to find out that it's the truth. But it is. It's just the truth. Yeah. Don't mean that it's not good, but if you're perfect, you get near perfect or close to perfect, you should be able to bite it and see that nice bite mark, and then you're good to go. So just want to put that out there.
I agree. If it's falling off the bone, then like part of the joy of eating ribs is just having the bone to freaking suck the meat off of, right?
I mean, at that point, you might as well just have pulled pork. At that point, I mean, that's my opinion. Here we go again. My opinion. So I don't know what to say.
There is a place in Cleveland that the one time my wife and I were driving through, and they had this. I can't remember where. Honestly, I think it was on the western part, but whatever. Where their claim is they have these ribs that are boneless ribs, but like they pull the bones out somehow. They have some sort of proprietary way that they make them, that they pull bones out.
They overcook them is what they do.
Yeah, but
if you overcook them, which here again, it's not that it's not going to taste bad. There is a different taste of it. You can taste a little bit of a difference if you did like one by the other, but if you just taste them or whatever, it's still gonna taste good to you. It's a rib.
Yep.
But once you do that, when you cook it to a certain temperature and it's that part done, all you have to do is just all you gotta do is twist the bones and pull them out. Now I'm sure they do it mechanically.
Yeah.
But if you could just, like I said here again, if you could just pull them out, there you go. I mean, it's overdone. Yeah, Jonathan, it is the truth that hurts.
Yeah. So, man, the thing is when we're talking about this stuff, it's we haven't really had a barbecue person on. We've had people who talked about it to some small degree, but having somebody actually knows what they're doing is actually great. That's kind of the reason, like with the show, we originally just started off doing just like beer people. And we're like, why don't we just branch out and start getting a bunch of different people on to talk about a whole bunch of different things? And, this has been good because it's been informative. And, it's been great. So I think
one of the things, I mean, barbecue and beer, barbecue and booze, barbecue and spirits, they go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. You usually don't have one necessarily without the other, depending on what circles you work in. I mean, obviously, if you go into a church barbecue, you ain't having no beer. You know what I'm saying? It's a little juices for the kids and pop, for everybody else, a little Fagos. But they are all tied, especially spirits down in the South. And that's a good thing that Greg is looking to that. That's one thing that Dr. Conyers is actually looking into too, is the connection between spirits and and barbecue, that connection growing up within the Black community from slavery on up. Because there used to be a lot of Black distillers, and a lot of them was preachers, back down there in the South, doing some great distillery work down there. Of course, here again, it's just something that was never really talked about. But yeah, I mean, booze. There are good wine pairings with which I kind of knew but didn't know. But one of the things that Blue Smoke Blair, it was just Erica. She's the new master of Q. She was also a sommelier. So this lady was amazing. She's a barbecue, now the master of Q. She's a competition barbecue person. She was a lawyer and she was a sommelier. All those are things that you can't be successful at very good. I mean, easily, but she was and is at all of, which is amazing to me. But yeah, they're great wine pairings that go with barbecue. So it's a great food. To me, it is the best food that says community. There are other foods like Italian that say family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you smell a pit rolling with some barbecue in it, you don't get the family smell until you come inside the house and you open that door. But with barbecue, it permeates the air and it brings community together. That food right there, will make a Republican love a Democrat, will make a black person hug a white person. I mean, it is a food that when you put yourself in the bubble, you have no issues, and it can heal the world if it lets people. But people let it. But we kind of feisty nowadays. But and it's my favorite type of cuisine. Obviously I'm a little biased.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done now.
Darren, going right back to you. What are you listening to, man?
A couple of things, really, but I'm listening to a lot of worship music now. Tasha Cobb is one of my favorites. And life has been crazy with the pandemic, with me not being at work. I still haven't gotten back to work yet because my arm is 100%. There's a lot of times you need to be, you kind of got to get back to where you go, get back to get uplifted and continue to be grounded. And worship music does that for me. I stay strong to my faith as much as possible, and when I get in those places to keep me grounded and to keep me motivated, I go to worship. It's not like, your slap your knee gospel. Worship is more intimate. Worship is you're communing and you're giving God praise. You're giving him all his worth per se via words and prayers, and you're opening yourself up for communication, which is totally different, than just like a praise song or something. So kind of keeps me there. And there's times where I just gotta have that in my spirit, or I go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Excellent. Doug?
So mine, I tend to listen to podcasts and audiobooks more than anything. I was listening to something called Bridgewater, which is made by the guy who made the podcast Lore, Aaron Mahnke. Some of the folks in that are Misha Collins, who's was on Supernatural, and David Harbour from Stranger Things is one of the voices in it. And it's like this view of this small town with this little paranormal area, and the main character Misha Collins is like a giant skeptic but a folklore expert, and I don't know, it's really well done. Is
it a limited series, or is it going on? Is it ongoing?
It's right now it's at 10 episodes. They're all about between 30 and 45 minutes long. So I tend to listen to that stuff when I'm working. So yeah, Misha, you're correct. That's one of our friend Charlie Capen's co-workers. So,
and I believe Roberto's co-workers. I think Roberto
works with them too.
Works with Charlie. He can tell us. But yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's been a fun podcast to listen to.
Cool, man. Cool. So I opened this this double
boil in trouble.
In the Imperial Ale, a big old juicy one, Doug. You would enjoy it. Look at that. Look at
that. That looks lovely.
You would enjoy this one. Another Fresh Fest collaboration between Trillium and Man, I'm getting old. I can't read this. Really, really bad, actually.
You need some glasses.
Yeah, I do need some.
Or you just need a better
glasses.
camera that can focus, because I couldn't read
Yeah.
that either.
Working on that. Yes.
Retail therapy.
Yeah.
Working on that. Yep. Misha is my boss's boss.
Yeah.
Look at that. Those are cool bosses to have. Misha Collins, from all accounts, at least on the social media, seems like a really, really down to earth, really cool dude who happens to be a big actor. But he just seems like someone that we would hang out with. He would roll up at Dad too and just sit down at the table and just have a conversation. Yeah. Maybe Roberto can confirm that, but he just comes off as that in his social media. So cheers to that, and cheers to that podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a listen to. Sorry, I've had 3 whiskeys, and that's good.
And you've had some dung.
Yeah, that's
smoked
not going to make
dung, not just dung, smoked dung.
Oh, okay. We gotta make sure on that. So, Darren, any more? I got a barbecue question for you. And you and I have had this conversation. Barbecue, just like anything now in America, just like anything, not in America, just in the world, it can be intimidating when you jump in. And like beer can be intimidating when you walk into a brewery, you see all these styles, and you're like, I just want a beer that tastes like beer. I don't even know what y'all talking about. IPA, Schmipa, Gozas. I mean, people and I get these questions a lot, and I'm just like, okay, hold on, I can help you here. But I feel like barbecue can be that too. And I felt that when my family was like, man, we need a smoker. And I was like, all right, let me do some research. And I talked to you a little bit, and we did some research, and we just felt like overwhelmed. So I'm like, why don't we just get this Komodo Joe? Because it looks like, the family was like, look at this Komodo Joe thing. Looks like it's top of the line. Looks like we're going to have to put some work into it, and we're going to have to learn. And that's why we went with the Komodo as opposed to the Traeger, because we felt like the Traeger was just too easy. Like we felt like you can just put you can just put pellets in it, Doug.
What's the easiest shit I could do? It's electric.
Right.
Woogie, woogie, and I'm set.
Right.
It's
right. Well,
oven.
I got two, teenage boys. So at that point I wanted them to learn something. I don't want the easiest way. I kind of wanted us to learn a skill. So when someone's looking at barbecue and they want to jump in, do you have any tips or any places they can look, or any besides dialing you up on Facebook, which I would say, if you're down with that, tell them what to do. But it can be intimidating. How do you navigate that, especially when you're first jumping in?
It can be, and because you have so many things, and you're seeing all these people do this and that, and saying you got to get this and got to get it. Komodo Joe is a great buy, by the way, because all the accessories that you get with that, to get a big green egg, which is supposed to be the top of ceramic smokers, to get all the accessories that you got with your Komodo Joe is going to put you way overpriced if you bought the same size big egg and then got the accessories separate. So that was a great buy. That was a great buy.
Cheers.
So somebody getting into it, I mean, the first thing is, just get a little offset where you can, and the offset smoker is where you have that little egg it's no joke. It's just expensive. That's all. It's like a Traeger, but it's just expensive. An offset is where you kind of have the barrel, and then you have like a little firebox on the side. So you can do your normal grilling inside. You can put the coals inside and just grill like normal, those little square things that we used to have. Or you can go into smoking to where you can put the fire inside your an offset, on the little firebox, and then grill in directly. So that's where you come into smoking ribs and pork butt and all that kind of stuff. So those are good. I mean, Char Griller has those for cheap. Oklahoma Joe's has some good ones for cheap. Even Char Broiler has some broil, whatever. Those are big box, stores that you can get those things at for basically under $200 and start you something. It's not huge, you're not smoking 20 pork bucks every day, so you can just do what you do. So you can grill just like you want to. And then if you want to start smoking, you can do that as well. That'd be a nice way to start. And I always tell people the best thing to start with.
Yeah, I was going to ask
this. Pork butt.
I was going to ask that. Okay. I would say to me, chicken thighs are really, really easy and great.
Well, they're easy, but if you want to get into, like I'm saying, get used to like a longer cook.
Yeah. Yes.
Pork butt is the way to go because it's kind of really hard to mess it up. I mean, you can mess it up. Don't get me wrong. But if you want to go more, because you can smoking chicken thighs and legs and stuff. It's some people that's a little difficult because you want to sometimes have them on a lower temperature, but then near the end when they're getting about close to their done temp, you want to crank up the temperature because you don't want to have chewy skin. If you just smoke it for a long time, all you're going to have is chewy skin. That fat doesn't render underneath. So you have to get it to about 300 degrees or 325, at least the last half hour or so to get that skin crispy and bite through. That's what you want. So that's a play on your fire, especially if you're doing offset. That's a play on your fire. You got to manage your fire, keep it at your 250 while you're smoking it. And then when it gets close to temp, raise it up to about 300. That means you got to add more wood or charcoal, or even for the Traeger, you just turn it up. You know what I'm saying? And it does that. And so you can get some crispy chicken. You finish in the oven. Are you a cheater?
The look on Darren's face is great.
No, you're not a cheater. Here's the thing. Sometimes, okay, so I don't have, most of I just did a campaign to boost my business. We jumping in the deep end now. And we
talk about it.
Campaign. This here, when we thought, we was like, okay, what are we going to do? My shoulder's messed up. I gotta go. I'm going back to work whenever I go back to work, which is probably December. I had the shoulder surgery here, and we want to get the barbecue thing, but we really want to get a trailer. So, okay, well, all right, let's do that because we'll do that part time. It's gonna be the part time gig. Just go. Me and my wife, she supports me. She's backing me. We like, all right, let's do this. We can do it. Fine. So we went to our bank to get a loan, and they said no. Y'all see that part there? They were like, we can't give you the loan because blah, blah, and blah, blah, and blah, 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 blah. So you can't have it. And this loan was specifically for startups, specifically for people of color, all the dollar nines. And I'll be honest with you. We had a bankruptcy when we first got married 2 years into our bankruptcy. We've been married 21 years, 22 years, 22 years.
And what, they started talking about all that shit?
They did, yes. Our credit score was fine. His stuff was fine. You ain't gonna have a good credit history. After the bankruptcy, we needed you to be 100%. Well, hell, it was
for
a bankruptcy.
4,000 years for 4
How are you going to be
100%?
100%? We lost. We tried to get a business some years, and then we got married. The broker just bailed on us. We lost money. We got hard money loans from a friend of ours. So that payment that we had to make was equal to our mortgage, our first mortgage. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, we couldn't pay both because I had gotten laid off. And then my wife had gotten laid off. Not fired. We just got laid off. It was what it was. So we had to make a conscious decision. Well, who we gonna pay? Are we gonna screw these people who went out on a limb for us? No. So we paid this bank. It was like double. I mean, it was like $90,000 worth of hard loans. Okay, so the interest rate was high, and we had to pay them back. So we lost our house. That financial strain, along with deaths in our families, that led up to our separation because we were separated for 2 years. I think I told you that, Greg, at one point, but we were separated for 2 years. We got back together. We cool now and everything, obviously. But nobody has perfect credit. And the thing about
No.
their level for credit was 585. we well beat that. Now, if you're getting somebody with a 585, do you think they got perfect credit?
No.
No.
So
Wait. You framed your rejection? Yes.
That's a nice FU frame.
I love it. I love it.
because,
Thanks, Roberto. I didn't catch that either. Duh, I should have. It was right in my face.
and that's the very
Man.
thing. The very nice. I mean, in the nicest way. That's the very thing I said to them. And I was like, you know what? Screw y'all. I'm gonna do this. You know, come hell or high water, because this is what I want to do. So you didn't get me. Screw you, and I'll show you better than anything.
Yes.
So a friend of mine who helped me get my business plan together and everything, she worked with these people. They're like, well, you ever thought about crowdfunding? I was like, no, because I don't want nobody to think I got a handout. You know, I don't want to do no GoFundMe, because you're just giving me something. I really didn't want that. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to work for what I want to do. And there were some other things, but she told me about this company called Honeycomb. They're big in Pittsburgh, Oakland, California, now here in Cleveland and some other places. What they do is you get investors. It wasn't a gift or it wasn't a donation. People invested into our company, and what we do is how we pay them back. We pay them back with interest at a set interest rate over a 5-year period of time. So it was like, cool. We raise the money and we pay y'all back 10% plus 10%. So I was like, I can do that. Yeah, sure. The Huntington thing was 10 years at 5%. Okay. And that's why I loved it. I was like, whew, I just only had to work one day of overtime if I needed to. You know what I'm saying? To do that. But this one is 5 years, and everybody that invested in us, we ended up getting $29,000, $29,400. Over the 5-year period of time, they're going to get back that money plus 10%. And I'm going to work for that because you believed in me when the institution didn't. And you don't know me. You just know what we put out, what we want to do, and our passion for our business. My biggest donor don't know who the heck I was. You know what I'm saying? These people, family, friends, they gave, they invested. Man, I can't tell you how many times I cried. I can't tell you when I saw some of these things come in and who gave and who invested. I mean, I literally cried because it was an humbling experience. You never know how people. I grew up a lot thinking negative of myself. Yeah, and I fight that a lot because I wasn't, not knowing that I had ADHD to my early years. All that carnage was left in my past. But it was also my present to me. So I never knew how people saw me. You know what I'm saying? So the people that were giving testimonials, that were giving and just saying, well, this and this, I'm like, are you talking about me? Really? You think, you think that of me? And you think that enough somebody who never met me to give me, if you gave me a penny, this is going to succeed just because of that. My passion to do this is because I love barbecue, but now I want to give people back what they gave me. So, with that, we needed to get 40. We didn't get 40, but we got enough we're going to purchase this trailer, a barbecue smoking trailer. We put the down payment down on that. It'll be done in January or February because of the backlog of everything, and a custom smoker to go on back of the trailer itself. It's going to have a barbecue porch. It's not a full trailer that's cut out in the back, and the smoker's going to be on that. So that is the two major things that we needed. I'm just going to have to work and do more pop-ups, work a little overtime when I get back to work, to get everything else, because we need some other things to do that. But we got that. I mean, the people did it for us, and I'm gonna make a video on it because almost,
you were overwhelmed. You look overwhelmed now, man.
Way overwhelmed, dude. I mean, I cried like a baby so many times. When we got funded, the way this works is you have a minimum that you have to meet, and ours was 20. So if we never got to 20, everybody got their money back. No harm, no foul.
Gotcha.
When you got to 20, okay, well then you getting money. Okay,
Just
so
on.
that made you fund it, and then from there we just tried to reach the max goal of 40. We fell short of that, but when the point was that I got funded, I was in my wife's arms crying because it took people who knew me and didn't know me, but believed in us to do that.
And I feel some imposter syndrome going on.
What's imposter syndrome? What you mean?
Meaning you don't. Imposter syndrome is, Doug and I talk about this a lot.
Yep.
Meaning you don't belong. Meaning you feel you don't belong when you do. So like people, like I felt this a lot, and I still do, as far as like being a beer expert or being someone who is an influencer or someone who listens. Like people listen to my opinion about beer, Darren, more than I give myself credit for. So I'm like, why the hell are you listening to me? I don't know shit about beer, but I know more about beer than most people know about beer.
Mm-hmm.
And so then there's that imposter syndrome where, well, I don't know as much as my friend Julia Hers. Well, I don't know as much as Julia Hers, and I don't know as much as the brewer over at New Glarus, but I know enough that there are enough people that that look at my DMs, ask me, they're at a brewery, and they're like, what should I get? People send me this all the time. I'm at the store. What is this style? And I'm like, y'all, you need to know about craftbeer.com, or you need to know about this. But at the same time, they're asking me, Darren. And I don't, and you know what I mean? And I'm like, why are you asking me? Why the fuck don't you go somewhere? Oh, you're the guy that has 700 people in your beer group, don't you? You're the guy that spent a whole bunch of money during the pandemic to learn about brewing. You're the guy that's out there talking about brewing. And I'm over here like, I don't know shit. So like that's imposter syndrome, meaning you just don't think that you belong in the area that you're in.
That's true.
Okay,
I
that's
don't.
What I'm like. I feel some of that going on.
I don't, and like I said, I struggled at things as a child because the ADHD, not knowing I had it, which caused an argument, which heard me be stupid, from lazy to all kind of things all my life. Not handling this right, not handling that right, couldn't hold a job here or there because of this or that. So that baggage, which was and is doing better now though, but hard to let go.
Right.
So you're right. Sometimes I don't think I belong, because why would Darren W. Carter be here? He should be here.
Right. No.
But part of me now, what I'm learning is, screw that. I'm right up here.
Well, I'm just telling you, man, when I had your barbecue sauce, I knew you knew something. That's all I got. And I don't care. And I keeping it real and clean. Part of when you buy something, there's that purchase kind of thing where you're like, am I getting enough out of my money for what I get? And when you add the shipping to Darren's barbecue sauce, it's more expensive than what we normally pay for barbecue sauce. But we had this conversation. Shipping is a bitch. But we had this conversation to my boys and in my family a bunch. And I said, I am willing to give Darren triple, because I know him, and B, he's with all due respect, sorry, he's black. And I feel that I'm giving my money to a person, not a corporation, not something where it's just going to dissolve. So if Doug and his wife were like, we're doing a whiskey line, but we're doing high-end motherfuckers. So we're talking $150 a bottle. I wouldn't give a fuck. I would buy that shit because I know where the money's going and I know the person behind it. And I think that's really, I think we all need to keep that in mind too when we're supporting people like Darren and we're supporting people on this angle. You're going to pay more, but who cares? Because again, who cares? at the end of the day, I don't really care. I know that my family loves that barbecue sauce, and I know the second that it goes into the damn refrigerator, I swear to you, in 3 days that shit's going to be gone. Like, and everybody enjoys it. Like, the lady even said, she's like, "Well, where's the Darren's barbecue?" And I'm like, I don't know. I went on the website and I didn't really even see it. So like, she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "It's probably sold out. I don't know." So like, I don't think it is. JSG said it is. I'm not sure. You can tell us.
Yeah,
I want you to tell us.
I gotta.
Okay.
I have to make another batch.
But the point is that the demand is there, though.
This is done by hand.
But the demand is there, and then we don't care about price. It's not about price. It's more about availability. Where's my damn barbecue sauce, Darren? You don't have it on your fucking website, and I want to fucking pay for it, damn it. And again, because we're sitting here like, what barbecue sauce we like? Literally, no bullshit. I can't keep a barbecue sauce in my house without people bitching about it's not Darren's and Teresa's honey.
The best thing to do, especially like for my West Coast people, I tell them the best thing to do is just, spend a little bit more, get about 4 or 5 bottles, because
I
got on the side, I think if you order 50 or more, I give you free shipping. So
okay.
But even with the way that the USPS is a big box, it's kind of like $15, but you can fit a whole bunch in it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And in that way, you kind of get your money's worth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure this is Roberto still. I can't order barbecue sauce in case he didn't need the sauce there. I thought we'd leave the bottle as a gift. The kid packed that shit up and brought that shit home.
He didn't even know. He didn't want to leave it for his neighbors.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Doug, we've already been over. We were way over where I wanted to go.
Yeah, I'm getting up at 5:30 to start brisket.
That's my fault. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
No worries. I still got a video though. I want your opinion on.
Let's do it. Let's do it now.
Driver makes my kids cry every day.
Go ahead. I love you. Have a good day. Please don't yell at my kids today.
I don't yell at your kid.
Yeah, you do.
You're not too long.
Don't yell.
Shut your mouth.
You're not going to talk.
Shut your mouth.
Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
I'm asking you not to yell at my kids.
How dare you tell me not to yell at your kids?
Yes, they cry every day. Yeah. I can't hear you.
Oh hell no, did she flip me off?
Wow. That lady, like, don't yell at my kids, and that lady's like 0 to 60, like, I don't yell at your kids. Whoa.
Right. You just yelled at me. Right. Again, is this where we're stop laughing, Doug. If that was your kid, you'd be pissed off. But it's I feel like she like the lady with the kid embellished her a little bit, but that's probably because she's dealt with this before. I don't think her kids like cry every day. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't feel that. But something already happened because, in my opinion, I think the video shows that something happened between her and the bus driver because the bus driver was like quick to yell right back at her. No, you know what I mean? So like, I believe the lady with the kids. Where do y'all fall on that one?
I was waiting for, as soon as she clapped back like that, talking about I don't yell at your kids, I was waiting for her to run, get all the kids out the way, climb on that bus, snatch her by her hair, and pull her out and start fighting. That's what I was waiting for.
Right.
She was very nice.
That was Daniel. That's the exact thing I thought of when she started yelling. Was that lady with the bus driver from South Park with the bird in her hair? That's exactly what I thought of. It sounded like she smokes 18 packs of cigarettes a day.
Well, right, and that's Roseanne. Roseanne driving the bus. Right. I'm like, man, that's where we're at. And listen, man, but respectfully to the bus driver lady and her thing, like, it's crazy now. There's less bus drivers. I'm sure it's even amped up to a level where they're stressed out. But you can't. I'm with you, Doug. I see you shake your hand. You can't just respond that way. Like, regardless. What were you gonna say, Doug?
I was just gonna say driving a bus is not an easy freaking job. That is not an easy job. Kids are unruly when they're small, especially when they're kind of just left to their own devices in the back. And listen, you can't be screaming at kids. That doesn't work. And then you can't be screaming at the parents telling you not to scream at their kids.
No.
You can't do that shit.
Right.
So
now I know you. Now I know you're yelling at kids because you just took
immediately
a second.
popped off. Like you immediately popped off. Like I'm not yelling at and then you flip the lady off. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure you weren't yelling at the kids in the bus. That totally made me feel better about that. Thanks.
Right. Meanwhile, after she flipped off, she's probably yelling at these kids on the bus. Like it's not even the bus. Right. The bus didn't even leave the block, and that lady's yelling. So Darren, I want to thank you for gracing us with your presence today.
Yes.
I want to thank you for your knowledge, brah. I want to thank you for who you are. I want to thank you for being my friend after I dissed you twice. I just want to thank you for everything. I just want to thank you for everything, man. As we said before, you're not an imposter. You are our barbecue go-to. And also, too, once you get on the road and you get that trailer going, I want to see pictures, and we need to have you back on to talk about what the hell, excuse my language, what the heck is going on, whether you're doing pop-ups. I don't have many people, I don't think, that are from Cleveland that watch the stream. But I do know a lot of Cleveland people because I'm a Browns fan and I'm in all these groups and I scream and holler about it. So any way I can help you about put your word out there, we're going to do. But you said something about, real quick, you said something about January. So we're talking early next year. We're going to have you back. Anything to sum up or where we can find you? I got your unknown Black Pitmasters on the bottom here. We have your link tree. What's up?
Linktree is the best way to find me because it has all my social media sites and whatever I'm doing at that point. Yeah, that's the best way. That's the best way to reach me. I appreciate y'all giving me the time. I always say y'all have great guests. Always when I come on here, I'm like, God, y'all be having some good guests. So. I'm happy to be a part. I hope that I was able to get some laughter, some knowledge, to people that they were able to leave with something. And like I tell people all the time, even people that come here twice and don't see me, even if they came again, I will let them in. My kitchen is always open. I'm available when my friends come to town. You ain't got to say nothing for me to throw something on the grill. It's done. Just let me know you're here. If I can do that, obviously, I will. They can also, follow me. You can see it in Linktree, but the Carter's Facebook page that I have all my pop-ups and everything and what I'm doing. We're trying to, do some, now at our church and some other places until we get our trailer. But yeah, man, I love y'all. Y'all know you're my boys, my friends. I appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Go Browns. We're gonna beat the Vikings on Sunday. We're gonna beat the Vikings, dog. That's gonna happen. They can't stop the run. Listen, all you Viking fans and everything talking about, y'all can't stop the run. Okay? You saw what we did to the Bears last week with Hunt and Chubb. That's all I got. Like, it's stopping the run. It's not about Baker Mayfield.
We're gonna send them home to
It's not about Myles Garrett. It's not about any of that shit. It's about, can you stop our running game? And nobody can. Not even Kansas City. None of y'all can. So that's why we're going to win. That's it.
We'll send them some of that smoked dumb whiskey. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Some of that 300-year-old shark. Yeah.
Hey.
Right. We'll give them some of that.
Hey.
The Bears are a sad franchise, but they can play D, yo. I won't put it. Roberto loves to point out that the Browns lost to the Jets when we had no wideouts and whatever, and we still made the playoffs.
Roberto likes to talk about Cleveland sports in general. That's my boy.
He likes to talk trash.
Yes.
Let's make sure the trash
goes in front.
I love Roberto, though. This man's been a smart aleck since I met him. Like I forget, I forget the first exchange that we ever had a dad to. Maybe he can remember it, but he was such a smart ass, and I was like, this dude's an asshole. Like I really thought that the first time I met him, I was like, this dude's not. No. And then but Doug and I talk about this, man. Like Darren, I have this thing real quick that like when I first meet most people, I hate them. Like it's weird, but it's true. The lady I've been with 20 years. I mean, anybody who's anybody really in my life, the first time I saw you or I met you, I'm like, who is this person? And then I my mind like flips to like, dude, what the hell? And then you know what I mean? Then I look at it a different way and I'm like, oh my God, that person's amazing. What the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? So like Roberto, I forget our first interaction was not good from my point of view at all. Actually, me and him have talked about this, so it's not really new to him, or it shouldn't be. But like, it was really harsh for him and me, especially in my head. He probably didn't know it, but I'm like, who is this dude, and what the fuck? Like, and now I don't know, man. I love him like a brother. He's one of the funniest people that I know. That's a fact. Like, he's so fucking witty that like it's like. The dude comes up with shit like it's like 2 seconds, right? Like 1 second, he's got something in his head.
It makes you back at you and shit. It makes you mad because you can't come back so quick. You be like,
right? That's what it was. That's what it was. It's like, dude, you're too quick for me. Get away. Get the fuck away. I need to go have a beer and settle down and try to figure out who the hell you are coming at me like that.
Then you need to come back to him 10 minutes later with the best comeback. And
it don't work. It just doesn't work.
Right.
He's been a very. I've been in his props here. He's been, and I'm going to stop. He's been a supporter. Like, remember, I don't know if you all were on when I said I was going to start doing the sauce when we did Dad 2 Digital, and I kind of like did a soft sell there. That's when I kind of first said, okay, I'm about to start selling my stuff. He was one of the first people. He wanted to, get some, and he bought some. And, he's been very supportive. Actually wrote this blog post while we were. I will say that he did invest because he put it out.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready to get paid already.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that.
You're gonna have to wait, buddy.
Oh, he sees it coming though. He's ready for that payday.
He did. It's like he cataloged our growth together and how we did this, and the sauce came up and what he saw and everything. It was one of the things that made me cry. But yeah, outside of our talking about the Cavs and the Golden State Warriors back there during that time.
Oh yeah,
that was
good times. Good times.
He like others, and I know there are those who who couldn't invest in some people because of the investment and how it worked. It's SEC regulated, so some people's like, well, I don't want anybody to give that information, which I understand is cool. But people's support of sharing and just giving good words, and it's not all about the finance of it. It was just about you're doing some good stuff, man. Keep it up. The
support. Yep.
I was on cloud 9, man. I felt like I've never done it, but I felt like a rock star falling back into a mosh pit and just being carried by folks. If I can explain, that's kind of feeling I think that would have felt like. You know what I mean? Just like cool. It's like the top of the world, man.
Amen,
so, okay,
brother.
I'm shutting up because I didn't.
Right. And I gotta let you go because we'll be here. We'll be here another hour, but we're gonna have you back early next year to talk about. We need updates, and we need everybody to get the updates. And I don't know, maybe we can help you there too. But I'm gonna help you by buying. I'm gonna buy $50 worth of sauce when I can. So I'm just letting you know. Put it out there when it's available. Actually, Darren, really though, we need to know when it's more available. So put it out there because we got people here already. We got people here already waiting in line for it. So there's not a line, but damn it, there's a line. So
just give me just give me about a week. I gotta make a new batch. I got some new bottles that came in.
That's cool, Darren.
So
we love you, man.
Hey, don't you bogart all the freaking sauce there, Greg. I want to buy some too.
I'm buying $50 worth. I want that free shipping, and I want to shut up the people here. So, Darren, we love you. Stick around if you want to do post production. If not, we'll talk to you soon. Either way, Godspeed and all that stuff. And I don't even say that, but I'm saying it for you. I just said it, didn't I? How do I say I didn't say that, Doug? And I just said it. Darren, we love you. Cheers, buddy.
Take care, man. Cheers.
So, Doug, before we get out of here, we got something. So I hope y'all remember my friend, Doug's friend of the show, Chelsea Alt. She was on the show
a couple months ago. Yeah.
Seems more than that, Doug.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe
4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
She's a badass semi-pro football player. She loves to spread the word about women in football and women empowerment and women doing things that men can do, should be doing if they fucking want. She so she, long story short, local story here. She works with the Stoughton Football Club, and I believe that they have a female on their varsity team. And she's working with them and her to make sure that girls know. We're back to the representation thing. Darren talked about that. And Chelsea is out on the fucking front of this with females in football, showing that, hey, we can play. We're good. Chelsea was on. I recruited her, and luckily she came. It was more on her than me. But when I was the president of a semi-pro football team here in Madison, I wanted Chelsea on my team because she's a badass. She's good at what she does, and she's great at football. It's not like she's just a woman saying, "Oh, she's great at football," and she has a lot of knowledge. This is a local Stoughton newspaper that did this wonderful write-up on her. I'm sorry, I don't know the Stoughton newspaper. I should have that link here. I don't. But if anybody wants this file here, you could, take the file and you could read all up on Chelsea. She's just great. We're gonna have her back as soon as we can. But I just wanted to spotlight that as somebody who was on our show and who's a badass and who's continuing to do badass things. Doug?
No, that's it's interesting because she gave us an insight into a world that like somebody like me wasn't really aware of, and seeing her just continue to do her shit is pretty inspiring and great. So yeah, good on Chelsea.
Yes, good on Chelsea and good on females. I said this too. Like, I feel that they're not girls and females aren't taking over our sports, but I think that they're kicking ass more. And I think part of that is because they have to Stoughton, Wisconsin, JHG. I'm going to put this out on my social media this week, if not tomorrow or soonish. I thought I posted out too, but I need to do it again. So Stoughton, Wisconsin, which is about 20 minutes south of Madison, Wisconsin. And she's down there coaching and kicking ass and representing and all that. But real quick, Doug, girls are starting to get into boys' sports and dominate them. And the reason is because they have to fucking work hard. And they have to work against people saying they shouldn't be there. And they have to be better than some boy whose father is pushing him to be in soccer, and the kid doesn't want to be in soccer. There's a lot of this going on where there's this, these parents who push their kids to be in athletics, and the kids don't really want to be there. So the kids, and they go through the motions to, make their dad happy or to please their mother or whatever. And meanwhile, these girls are doing and going beyond so that they can make these teams and they can show that they belong. And I think Chelsea is A, of that, and B, she's supporting the girls who want to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's like Darren said about just having a representation to have girls look at her and say, "Oh, I can do that because she's doing that." Like,
right?
He said, it's just as long as you're seeing other people like you doing that,
right?
Then great.
And Chelsea's a better football player than me. Period. End. It will always be that way. And it's partially because she wanted it more. And she fucking worked her ass off to be that football player and that person that she is. And kudos to her. We love her. She's fantastic. Doug, what did you have to drink so we could sum up it and get out of here?
Yeah. So I just had 3 different whiskeys. Obviously
Whiskey.
This was the plum whiskey from Japan. Akashi Ume. Probably mispronouncing that. That was super good.
Wait, the dung whiskey?
No, this is the plum whiskey.
Plum. Okay,
Yeah.
I had to make sure I heard that because I know the dung whiskey is from Iceland. Go on.
And then the Uncle Nearest bourbon, which was really good.
Yes,
Obviously.
and that's becoming available a lot of places. Look for that.
I'm glad for that. It took me a while to find it. I'm glad I did. So yeah.
Look for that, though.
Yeah, and obviously the Floki Icelandic sheep dung smoked reserve. Like I said, it sounds like sheep dung. You're not getting any. It's just the sheep dung is a thing they use to give it some smoky flavor. The smoke, not flavor, smoke element to it, but yeah.
And I was enthralled in Darren's conversation and him being on and all that. So I really didn't get a flavor. I didn't get one that's better than the other. They're all really damn good. They're all from black breweries. It's all great.
Yeah, my thing came in, but it's at my parents', which is like 3 hours away because they won't ship to New York for some dumb reason. So
yeah, so you're gonna have these soon. And I found my Stacey Abrams beer, and I can't wait. Doug, it's in that thing, and it's a ghost too, brother.
Damn it! Did you get that from Tavor?
Yes, you're gonna get it too. You have it. All right.
No, is it in my? Well, I didn't get like the big. They only when I was looking, they only had like the 6-pack was all like again. I couldn't get the big $95 one, which is what I wanted.
What?
The one that Lala was talking about. Like I couldn't get that one. I was really disappointed. I'm gonna have to look at that after this. But yeah.
Well, right, and I hope that you get that Stacey Abrams one because it's a ghost. I almost feel like I want to send it to you if it didn't have Stacey Abrams on it, who is one of my favorite people on the planet. She's amazing. Wow. Okay, Doug, it's been great.
Yes, sir.
Doug, do you want to real quick talk about next week's guest?
Yeah, next week's guest actually is going to be Mallory O'Meara. Girly Drink. This book is coming out soon. We were fortunate enough to get an advance copy.
Yes.
She is a super badass who wrote The Woman from the Black Lagoon, who is a person who set up, did all the makeup and stuff for the creature from the Black Lagoon movie way back when. She's a nonfiction writer, but she did this whole book about women in alcohol and how they help further the history of it and create things. So we're going to have her on.
Beautiful. And that probably was whitewashed too, or man washed or something.
Man washed at that point. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Meaning we don't know, we don't know women. Again, women in brewing too. That was pretty much, men just took it over and industrialized it and just said, hey, this is ours now. No, bitches. We're going to tell the truth and we're going to tell it next week. So, Doug, until then, I'll see you. Thanks for being you. And I love y'all.
Love you, man. See you, folks.